What's going on, guys? Austin the Money here. This will be my second time recording this video because the first time had no volume. So shout out to the person who left that comment. And yeah, let's go again. So for starters, amazing week. We have broke $180,000. We are up very nicely in the past week, $14,000. And we are up, I think, 15,000 in October. Yeah, so $15,200 for October, or 9.25%. So we'll get into the trades I did. And yeah, let me pull this back up. Go to realized profits. Yeah, last week should be good enough. So yeah, we started with this Costco trade. So I kind of got in and out of this one. Unfortunately, Costco freaking rallied on earnings, and this could have been a nice call, but I very premature closed this one. Honestly, just didn't like the risk. So closed it for a very small profit. Sold some Amazon shares, and we bought some long calls. So let me move this over. So all the LCs are my long calls, and the SPs are basically my sold puts or short puts. And the strat is my in the money covered calls, which if you do not know what that is, I have a video on it and why it is amazing. So please check that out if you are interested. And so got some long calls. I scalped Amazon for $95. SoFi, I bought some puts back. These puts were at 94%, so I got them back for $6. And I rolled these, so I didn't collect. I mean, I guess technically it was $1.03, but I ended up buying my old ones back for 93 cents and resold these ones for $1.03. So that equals basically a $10 and some change, because some of them sold for 10 and some of them sold for 11. So came out to 10.37, and it was like a little under $500 roll. So bought some back because I wanted to play some more Amazon and Google and stuff like that. So we did some more long calls on Amazon, made another 205, another 110, and another 72. And Thursday, I ended up selling my United Healthcare shares. I had 3, sold it for almost a 20% profit at 370, which was almost the top, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, pretty crazy with that. And I also sold my Eli Lilly shares at almost the top as well, because after that whole tanking on Friday, yeah, it seems like that was the top temporarily. So we sold those for a 15% gain, or like $1,100. Yeah, this was just nothing. I scalped some Tesla as well, made $185 on that scalp, 60 on this, and 45 on Google's. Those are long calls for Tesla's down here, and Google's right here. Meta, I was gonna let my in the money expire, and this was one of the only trades I had left that I closed during that huge sell-off we had on Friday. So Meta was trading at like almost 730 at this point. So I was like, oh sweet, I'll just let it expire, blah blah blah. Well, then Meta dropped all the way down to like 714 or 715, and I was like, well shit, dude, maybe I should go ahead and close, take this 2250 profit, and that way I can just be out of Meta, because from that sell-off, there's a very good chance of continuation into next week. Especially, we had a really bad candlestick that I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes once I finish these trades. But I decided I want my portfolio to be a little bit more cash. So I could have let this expire and just collected the whole, I think it was like $2,300 of premium. But I decided to close it early for $2,250, and that way I'm in cash. And then my SoFi puts that I ended up rolling, I had 53 SoFi puts. 10 of them I bought back. Those are the ones I showed you I closed at a 94% profit. So that means I had 43 left. And out of the 43, 24 expired worthless. So I got the whole 100% profit from that. The other ones, and since that's it, and this is from me rolling SoFi, or that's the SoFi unrealized. Well, it's realized loss, but I profited more. Anyways, the other SoFi shares, it actually assigned me on. So right here, put assignment. I had a 25.5 put, and it basically got assigned, even though, and this is a learning for anyone who, is just doesn't know this, which I knew about it, but it's never actually happened to me. So SoFi closed at 26.18, all right? So my puts expired out of the money by 68 cents. So a pretty good amount. But apparently there's 90 minutes after market closes. So I'm Central Time, so market closes at 3 p.m. for me. So until 4:30, if that price dips below my strike, which as you can see, it did right here and right here, that was within 70, 75 minutes. So still within the hour and a half, you have a chance of getting assigned. Even though it closed above, there's a 90-minute window that if it dips, you have a possibility. And for me, I just happened to be one of those people that got assigned. Now, obviously, out of my 43 contracts, only 19 got assigned. So, it's very rare. It's very rare that that will happen to you. But if it does, you do have a chance. And I guess Robinhood has started to factor that into the average cost because, as you can see, I got assigned for 25.5. And if you look at the roll, why my average cost is so low, it's because my roll bought it back for 93, resold these for 103. So it's giving me this full credit onto my shares. So $1.03, it'll basically be like I bought them at $25.50 minus $1.03. So it's showing a $3,800 gain right now, but in reality, I bought them at $25.50 and it's trading almost at $26.50. So this would be a $1,900 gain because $1 per share. So if I can sell these Sunday night when overnight market opens, then I will just sell these immediately, and hopefully I can capture that dollar for 1,900 shares, and that'll be like $1,900 for free because I was not expecting to get assigned on this, and luckily SoFi rallied back up. So I got super lucky on this bounce, and yeah, and I guess, hopefully I can get lucky when the overnight market opens at 7 p.m. Central. So that would be pretty freaking sweet as well. So, and I did sell an Amazon put. Dude, I sold this on I literally sold this Thursday because Amazon was looking very bullish, and I just was like, free $110, why not? And then the tweet came out, and I was like, whatever, dude, I'll just get assigned. I like Amazon at 225. It's not terrible at 225, so I just decided to take assignment, and then it factored my $1.10 credit into the average share price. So I'm actually curious if I start selling covered calls, if my average cost basis is going to keep going down with my covered call premium. I'm curious how that's going to play out. But yeah, so right now I'm down, I guess, $900 on these shares, but up $1,900 on SoFi. So, I guess that turned out pretty nice. And that's it. I have, other than these options that just got assigned on Friday, I decided to buy a little bit of the dip on Ethereum. Ethereum was trading over $4,700 just a couple days ago, and we're down almost 20% from the peak of here. I don't know how I can show you guys the peak, but on my damn laptop, but it fell, it was up almost 6%, and then it's fallen almost 17% from this level, though, from 44.92. So down 20%. I figured, maybe this could be a buy the dip opportunity. So I just took a small position. I'm in 1.1 Ethereum at an average cost of 38. And if Ethereum keeps tanking, I will just keep averaging down. I'm starting small just in case I need to keep averaging down. And if we get a nice, I don't know, freaking Trump drops an amazing tweet, good news, and we rally back to 47,500, I might sell, I might hold. Honestly, I don't know. Kind of just depends. But I like to get in and get out of some of these trades. So these SoFi, I'm going to try to sell ASAP since I'm up so big on them already, like $1,900. That's a weekly goal that I could just make from selling on Sunday. So that's huge for me. And yeah, but the portfolio has hit $180,000, which is insane. We have had a monster week. So, I mean, followed by monster month, followed by monster 3 months, followed by a almost $50,000 year. Insane. And it's gotten very volatile recently, but luckily in my favor. I know a lot of people are down a lot of money right now from that Friday. Luckily, that did not affect me, minus me having to take ownership of some shares. But I mean, compared to some of the portfolios and loss pictures I've seen on the internet, dude, that is I got out really, really lucky with that. So let's get into basically here, right? We've lost $2 trillion from stocks in a single day. This is the worst day since April. And there is basically this all because of Trump tweeted on Truth Social that China's become very hostile, blah, blah, blah. And he wants to put a 100% tariff on China, which is absolutely nutty. But, this is something I want to highlight, right here. The market has also become comfortable with the 40% tariff rate that Trump inputted in April, right? In April, we were like, oh my gosh, 40% tariff rate. Like, that's insane. And now it's like normal to us. Like, it's like nobody even cares about this anymore, right? So who's to say if this 100% tariff rate goes into effect, 4 or 5 months from now, everyone's just going to look at it like normal, like, oh, 100% tariff rate, like, who cares? We're not worried about that right now. It's not a big deal. So, I mean, we very well could end up in another scenario because when this first happened, massive sell-off in April, right? Like 20% sell-off for the Qs and S&P. So, but now we look at it and, I mean, who's talking about tariffs right now? Not many people up until Friday, of course. But yeah, this could be something that either, is basically him just like, hopefully China gives in to this or whatever his plan is. But I'm just saying I'm still very bullish on this market. I do think if Trump doesn't come out with a good news tweet or a good news speech about this, I do think we see a little bit more short-term pain in the markets, just because the only reason we were covered from the April tariffs were because he basically said there's going to be a 90-day pause, and he tweeted it's a good time to buy stocks right now. So he basically put out some good news himself, and that rallied the markets. I think if we do get good news from him, back to green light. Like, this was a buy the dip opportunity. If we don't get a good tweet, then I think we see like 1, maybe 2 weeks more of pain. Just my opinion, of course. This is the weekly chart, and this is a nasty engulfing candle, okay? For those of you that don't know what an engulfing candle is, it's basically when the body of this candle covers the previous day body. This is a red engulfing candle, and usually a red engulfing candle could mean 2 to 3 more candles of this, okay? And for example, this is a green engulfing candle. Sorry, my EMAs are in the way. Let me hide that. So green engulfing candle, we've seen 1, 2, We've seen at least 2 more candlesticks following that in that direction, okay? Another example, this green covers this body. We've seen some continuation there. This green body covers this red body. We've seen some continuation of that. And here's our red engulfing candle where we've seen another red day. And then this was a green candle, but we did dip here and then we kept dipping until we got bought up. So, you know, it's usually 2 to 3 more. Those are some examples, but yeah, we're still above the ADMA on the weekly, which is super bullish, as you guys can see. Pretty much ever since May, the very beginning of May, we have been riding this ADMA all the way up. We've dipped to it, we've bounced off of it, we've dipped to it, and we might bounce off of it, or we could break it, right? But as long as we're above this ADMA, I am super bullish on the market. And as you see in the daily, this is a super nasty daily candle. I mean, this is like one of the nastiest candles since that insane green day we've had. So on the daily, we have broken all of the support, right? If you guys see, we ride the 8. We've even touched the 20. We bounced the 21. Ride the 8, bounce the 21. Ride the 8, bounce the 21, bounce the 21. Bounce at 21, and now we're kind of breaking through both on the daily. So on the daily chart, it doesn't look that good. Weekly chart, you know, I would expect with an engulfing candle, if we don't get good news, to see maybe 1 to 2 more weeks of some pain. Maybe we dip down to the 21 EMA and we bounce off the 21. That would be, you know, best case, bullish case right there, that we can bounce off this green at 562. So that would still leave us with what, another 4% to go to drop. That's crazy, dude. Markets are down 3.5% today. Insane. Or on Friday. But yeah, guys, and then the VIX. This is definitely one of my favorite charts to look at. If you guys notice, anytime the VIX gets above like 40, honestly 35 is when I'm going to start buying calls or buying like leveraged shares of the NASDAQ. But if you ever see 45 or 50 in the VIX, it marks the bottom every single time. This is a cheat code. This is like, if there's one thing you need to know in the stock market, it is the volatility index. Whenever it hits 50, that is the bottom of the stock market, okay? Here's the April, okay? April 11th. That was the bottom. Then you go over here to the August of 2024. That was the bottom. It was like August 4th, August 5th, I think, was the absolute like peak fear. If you would have bought when the VIX was this high, you would be up massive. If you would have bought at the bottom of the April lows, you would be up massive. And we had implied volatility, increased volatility during the bear market. But when you're in a bull market, volatility is a lot lower because there's a lot of certainty, a lot of, you know, good. And guess what this is? This is the COVID crash. If you would have bought the stock market, this would have been the bottom of the market when it got this high. I got to 85. That's insane. But for me personally, I'm looking, once we break 35, I'm starting to get some, you know, 5-10% call positions, like portfolio wise. And if we break 50, I mean, I'd probably be willing to go like 50% of the portfolio into calls. Like, that's how bullish I would be. So we did get a nice spike today. And, you know, this could be the it, right? Because we got a spike here. On August 1st, we had like 2 red days of Qs, right? If we go back to, let's go to the daily. I think that was right here, right? Oh, no, this was July. Huh. Let's see. Yeah, July 31st and August 1st. That was like 2 massive red days. And then we fully recovered. I mean, this could be a scenario like that. Let's see. Where was that? Where's that July? So July 31st is here. And then August 1st. Yeah, so August 1st was this massive candlestick. And that was the bottom, right? We had 2 massive red days. We hit the VIX spiked, and then it just cooled off. This very well could be something similar to that. spikes like this on the VIX obviously don't last long, right? When the VIX spikes, it either keeps spiking rapidly or it immediately cools off. So, and in my opinion, I think we're gonna have a relief bounce. If you look at the RSIs, we're pretty oversold. Gonna see a dead cat bounce. RSI's got down to what, 10, 9 or 10 on the. That's insanely oversold. Go to the 4-hour, we're still oversold on the Nasdaq. Let me see the SPY. So yeah, we're trading at what, a 17 on the RSI. That's a nasty hammer. So yeah, I think short term, these hourly charts look like we're gonna have a little dead cat bounce. I would not be bullish on this bounce because we just don't have any good news yet. That's the thing we're waiting on, is good news. But yeah, expect these RSIs to come up back above 30, and then probably, I would expect to see some more dipping in the markets after that. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on this market. And yeah, we'll see. Amazon just took a beating, man. Whew, it was at 228 and it all the way down to 210 before we got a little relief bounce. So yeah, a lot of these got some nasty candlesticks, especially their weekly candlestick. That was just a really bad close. But yeah, downside, if we don't get good news, I'm looking at the 21 EMA as my support if the 8 EMA cannot hold. But guys, that's the video, man. Oh, I'm not worrying about that right now. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys can actually hear me this time and it's not muted, or I will have to record it again for the 3rd time. But other than that, hope you guys have a good day. Hopefully you did not lose a lot of money on Friday. If you did, hopefully you get it back. But see you guys in the next one. Peace.